All right, welcome here inside Gamble Pavilion. St. John's getting blown out here in the first half, 38-22. As they are listen, they can't score the basketball. They're 7 of 23 from the field. They are 30% from the floor. Uconn is 54% from the floor, 15 of 28. They're 4 of 9 from 3. The threes is not what's getting them. St. John's also has 4 points. It's the points in the paint is the difference so far here in the first half. 18 for Uconn, only 6 for St. John's, and they trail by 16 with 2:56 to go in the first half, and it's just a flat. They came out flat. They're not ready to play. The 13-game win streak is now on the line, and their lead atop the Big East is on the line as well. The loss today will tie them with Uconn in the Big East. And listen, they got to get it together, and they got to get it together fast. They're down 16. They've cut it. It was 20 at one point. Now it's 16. And we're at a timeout. 13 points so far for Tarek Reed. He's been the star that he is for Uconn so far. Let me just get these stats up here. So I'm Bob Walters. This is Locked Up Sports coverage of St. John's basketball. You got 12 minutes, 14 points for Reed. St. John's inbounding the ball in the front court. Mitchell has it. Right wing Sellers for 3. No good. Way off the back of the backboard. And rebounded by Uconn. Nothing going right for St. John's. They can't hit anything. DeMary has it. DeMary at the top. Being guarded by Sellers. A long 3 from Caravan is in and out. No good. Rebound to St. John's. And they're going to push it up the court. Into the front court. Here comes Mitchell. Drives to the right side. And a foul called. A reach in on Mullins of Uconn. That's the 6th foul. So St. John's in the bonus. I'm sorry. That's the 7th foul. St. John's here coming in ranked 15th in the country against the number 6 Uconn. Here's Prey for 3 off the right wing. No good. Rebounded to Caravan, and Uconn has it. St. John's continues their cold shooting. They can't hit anything. Caravan into the front court. Gets it to Ball. Ball has it now. Being guarded by Mitchell. Ball calling out the plays. Hands it off to Ross. Ross gives it to DeMary. DeMary between the legs, dribble to the left side to the paint. Looking guarded. Prey knocks it away, but he gets it back. Now here's a long 3. No good. Rebound to St. John's. And they come up across the timeline into the front court. Here's Hopkins. Back out for Sellers, and Sellers will hold. And now it's Abayo. Up, and he drives, and he gets it. Mitchell. Sellers with the drive and the basket. And St. John's has cut it to 14. You want to try and get this thing down to 10. Good drive by Sellers right there into the paint. He was fouled. The foul is on Reeby for Uconn. 38-24. It's now at least respectable. 97 seconds left in the first half. Here's the free throw, around and out. No good. Rebound to Uconn. St. John's missed these free throws. You got to get those 3 points at the line. Minute and a half to go. DeMary brings it across the front court to Ball. Ball has it, being guarded by Sellers. Now it's Reed. Reed to DeMary, back inside to Reed to the paint. He throws it up. No good. Rebound off the glass. Another rebound. Reed gets it inside the paint. Out to Ball for 3. Got it. Oh, man. And they are loud here. Driving now. Here's Hopkins. Hopkins off the glass and in. And it's a 41-26 game. .40 seconds to go in the first half. DeMary has it up top, picks up his dribble left side now to Reed. Hands it off to Caravan. Caravan being guarded by Prey. Drives with the left hand, throws it off of the leg of Prey and out of bounds. will stay right here. Uconn ball. Is it a kickball? If it's a kickball, it'll be a reset of the shot clock. If it's not, it will not be. That was a big miss right there. The rebound on the last trip down the floor by Uconn. The rebound was there to be grabbed, there to be taken by St. John's. It went off a couple hands. Reed got it out to Ball, who just buried a three. And listen, St. John's, it's reasonable. 15 is somewhat reasonable. You can come back from 15. You're not coming back from 2023, where it was right off the bat. They couldn't put, it's like there was a cap on the St. John's basket. Nothing going in. They picked it up a little bit in the last couple minutes, but there's still a 33% from the field. Uconn at 50% from the field. 5 3-pointers for Uconn. Listen, it's the points in the paint that's killing them. Points in the paint, 18-10. And the largest lead for Uconn was 21 points. St. John's led 2-0, and that was it for them for the lead. Inbounding St. John's, Uconn under their own hoop. DeMary inbounding, looking, gets it into the corner. Oh, off the hands of Reed. He gets it back a long three with 20. Oh, and it's no good. He didn't have to shoot it, so he did not have to shoot that. There was still 3 seconds left on the shot clock, and he just threw up a prayer from nearly half court. Air ball out of bounds, St. John's ball. They can hold for a final shot as the shot clock is turned off. Let's see if they do. Pretty big possession here. You could cut it down to 13, maybe even 12 with a three. Here's Mitchell. Prey now at the top. Prey with 5 seconds. He's got to go. Hands it off to Sellers. Sellers goes up from the left elbow. Three, no good. And it's to put back and in, but it's not going to count, I don't think. I think it was too late. They're going to look at it, but I think it was too late as it was put back on the rebound. It's not going to count. This isn't going to count, I don't think. Let's see. Sannon put it up. It was no good. The rebound. Oh, he got his own rebound and put it up. It's close. It's closer than I thought it was. And it is going to count. So St. John's with a bucket at the end of the half. Cut it to 13. Not terrible. 41-28. You'll live with it. Down 13 when you were trailing by 21 at one point. Number 6, Uconn with a lead. 13 points at the half. Listen, this is a 13 you can come back from. 21 you're not coming back from. But we're going to take a break here. We'll be with you in the second half. We're going to go to the Fox coverage. Oh, I'm sorry, the NBC's Peacock coverage. It took me forever to find Peacock. To order Peacock and find, it's a nightmare. So we're going to go to the Peacock coverage for halftime. We'll be back second half. This is St. John's basketball on Locked Up Sports.
You're locked into Locked Up Sports, the internet home of the Big East Tournament. We'll take you from Selection Sunday through every bracket buster all the way to the Final Four. Keep it locked into Locked Up Sports for the baseball is right around the corner. Warm weather, blue skies, and the crack of the bat. Spring training is here. Nobody covers the Yankees. Nobody covers the Mets like Locked Up Sports. Daily expert takes all season long the best baseball coverage on the internet.
I'm Bob Walters, host of Locked Up Sports, the best New York sports talk on the internet. Join myself and Brett Grasso every week as we break down all the happenings from the best sports town in the world and have conversations with some of the biggest names in New York sports, including former Mets general manager Steve Phillips.
We need a star player, but let's go get Beyonce, and I finally got approval to do it.
The man who revolutionized special teams in the NFL, Coach Mike Westhoff.
But, all the things that he got accused of, he did them all. I know. Trust me, I know. He did them all.
And New York sports talk legend Joe Beningo, just to name a few.
But they gave this guy $35 million a year, $350 million for 10 years. What the hell were they thinking with this guy?
Yeah. If you're a sports fan, this is the podcast for you. We have all the insights, laughs, and entertaining perspectives you crave. Whether you're looking for a funny take on your favorite team or informative and entertaining conversation, Locked Up Sports has you covered. Subscribe today for the most entertaining and informative sports podcast around. Available anywhere you get your podcasts.
Back to the final whistle.
Don't go anywhere.
Stick around for the Locked Up Sports postgame show. Breakdowns, highlights, and the stories you can't miss. And tomorrow, we're back live to wrap up everything from the big game. This isn't national.
Whoa! Upside down? This is awesome. Yoshi!
Told ya.
Nintendo Switch 2 is the home of Mario and friends.
Where most see frail, Huggies sees a fighter. And through every round, we provide them with gentle protection for the most delicate skin. Huggies, designed with NICU nurses.
Welcome to the Jeep Halftime Report.
Well, it is St. John's largest halftime deficit of the season. Terrace Reed immediately making his impact felt. Alex Kessman for 3 years. 8 points, 2 for 3 from downtown in that first half. Of the Jeep Halftime Report, Jack Collinsworth, Jordan Cornette, the coach, Matt McCall. Got to give both of you guys credit. Both of you picked Uconn. Any surprise with how this played out?
I'm not trying to act like I'm like some basketball Buddha. No, I'm not surprised. I knew this Uconn team was going to be very fired up. I knew you were going to get a measure of toughness that we did not see the last time these two teams met. St. John's dominated the trenches in that game last time around. St. John's turned Uconn over a ton. Dan Hurley, Coach Dan Hurley's won 2 national titles. This guy's one of the greatest coaches in our game. The messaging throughout the lead up to this game was be tough. Play with the fire that is needed to be a national champion and to be a Big East champion, which is within our reach if we win this game. But you have to win down low. And I'll tell you what, I guarantee he did. Terrace Reed, you got dominated last time in this game. You're like Zuby Ejiofor, the Big East Player of the Year, coming here and dominate you again. That was the messaging. I'll tell you, somebody took that one personal, Coach.
He took it personal. There's no question about it. But I think for UConn, it started on the defensive end of the floor. But you look here at these clips. This is your guy. You kept throwing clips into this highlight. You wanted to see them all, Jordan. Every single one of them.
Because here's the thing. Early on, engage. Calling for the basketball. Playing through contact. Again, this is the battles that he was not winning last time offensively. He was demanding it. What I love is he was running the floor. The motor. That's infectious. When you see your big playing like this, chasing down loose ones, deflecting, coming active, help side. There was one play down low early on in the game. It goes to Ejiofor down low. And Ejiofor does everything he can to try and score the basketball. Reed wasn't having it. You know how many points Ejiofor has in 13 minutes play? 1 point. Terrace Reed took this matchup personal. He knew this could be the deciding in this game. He knew the trenches were the X factor, and he has set a tone that this UConn team is fed off of. Defensively, they've been engaged. It spawned early offense and runouts. The tougher team is winning this game. That being said, there's 20 minutes left in this game. The momentum comes out of it when you go to the break. One of the greatest coaches our game's ever seen, Coach Pitino, gets to dig into his guys at half. You're going to see a different second half from St. John's, no question.
You kind of think St. John's should be down even more with how the game was going. St. John's just 4 for 20 to start the game, shooting 20%. I loved what Coach Pitino said in the timeout, though. Guys, stop with the one pass trying to go one-on-one. We're not beating them doing that. The ball has to change sides of the floor. He told his team, you're panicking. Now, you have to give this UConn defense a ton of credit. You heard Coach Hurley say it multiple times. We heard him say it in the timeout. We heard him say it walking off the floor. I think he was happy walking off the floor. I was still trying to figure out whether he was happy or not. But they're flying around. They're flying around defensively. But if you're St. John's, the ball has to change sides of the floor to try and loosen up this defense. Because one-on-one right now, it is not working. UConn too good defensively.
You got to give UConn big-time credit. They have 15 turnovers, first go in this matchup, and that was the undoing in a lot of ways beyond getting dominated in the interior. This group is taking care of the basketball. When you're doing this well offensively, when you're playing through a guy like Terrace Reed, you're allowing your offense a chance by only giving the ball up twice. This group has dominated the tone of the game. See, when you play a team like St. John's, a St. John's team that is the number one in defensive efficiency, number two in offensive efficiency, they dictate how games can be played. Well, UConn came in here and said, our home floor, we're chasing you guys. We want to be Big East regular season champions. They've dictated the tone. They have made it their type of game. They have been the aggressor. The thing about St. John's is this group turns it on in the second half. They're going to bring a fight. This game is far from over. I'm telling you right now.
And here's the other thing Coach Pitino said. Guys, play through Zuby. Play through
Which they
him.
did not do.
They did not do it at all.
'Cause
Just
I'm-
touch you when he's on the perimeter. Play
This
through
me.
him.
Coach, that's Terrace Reed. That's how Terrace Reed was defending. He made him meet resistance early
happening
on in
to
that
her?
game and set a tone of, hey, that 21-10 you had in the garden, you ain't in the garden tonight. And Terrace Reed, to his credit, we showed a lot of offensive clips, one defensive, but how he matched up to a man to Zubi Ejiofor in that first half, that was a tone setter from the big in this game.
It looked like Terrace Reed had been hearing it for all 19 days in between these two matchups. Let's get into the highlights. What's happening right now around the country? Butler and Villanova. This is Ella Moore, the steal, and the drive for the layup.
Yeah, Villanova in the first half clicking on all cylinders on the offensive end of the floor. They had 9 assists. Talk about a team that was sharing the ball changing sides of the floor. This Villanova team, we talk so much about the two teams in our game right now. This is an NCAA tournament team as well. What a great job Coach Willard's doing in year one with this program.
Yeah, they're going to space you. This is a team that loves a three-point shot. When it's going, it puts a lot of stress on the defense. 6 of 17 in that first half. Really got to go in their perimeter players.
When we come back, one of the hottest teams in the country, the Florida Gators. Matt McCall is doing the chop as we speak. They have Texas. We'll show you highlights from the night of college hoops on the other side.
Freedom, cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair and involuntary blood donations, sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, all cheap things. Making a Jeep vehicle for only people like him, not a cheap thing. So we're bringing you more Jeep things this year, because Jeep things should be everyone's thing.
Superstitions, Matt?
Hi, Carly. It's a good thing Discover makes it easy to be a Big Ten fan.
Totally. I get cash back on my rally cap.
Cash back on my favorite glove.
Cash back on my Lucky Shamrock.
Cash back on my game day chicken wings.
Cash back on my one cleat.
Even earn cash back on my lucky bobblehead.
You win. Next round's on me.
Earn cash back on every purchase with Discover, the official card of the Big Ten.
Calling all water lovers and joy seekers, spontaneous dancers, and indoor explorers. We see you, culture lovers, toe tappers, taste makers, and nightlifers. Whether you like to cheer from the back row or sing along in the front, we're waiting for you, and all of you. Let's Texas.
So with all these Hilton Honors points, I could stay for free. Mm-hmm. At the Waldorf Astoria in the Maldives?
Yep. Hilton Honors, babe.
Ooh. What about the Canopy in Paris?
Babe, Hilton Honors. How long has that been here?
And there's no blackout dates?
Hilton Honors, baby.
There's no way the Conrad Tulum is included.
When you want points that can take you anywhere,
Hilton Honors, babe.
anytime, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
All right, Link, your turn. I'm starting to think this squidding shuffleboard was a bad idea. That's why I brought Clorox. Time to unleash the bleach. Clean feels good. We'll call this game a tie.
Alouette is your secret to go from blah to ooh la la. Just add Alouette cheese. Find us in the deli section.
Coming up on Peacock after the conclusion of this game, DePaul takes on Creighton. The Blue Jays face both Uconn and St. John's the past week, beating the Huskies, losing to the Johnnies. And right down the road from Omaha and Lincoln, number 12, Nebraska hosting Maryland tonight. This is Solomon Washington. Rebound, the drive, the slam.
Where's the resistance? I mean, just a wide open gap defensively, out of sorts. Nebraska in that possession, and for a big chunk of this first half, I just don't think there was a sense of urgency with how they're getting out. Late closeouts there. Look, this Nebraska team has been inconsistent as of late. The guys have battled illness, injury. One thing consistently you can count on, the ability of Price Sanford to score the basketball. But Nebraska given all they can take right now from Maryland. This group's got to get healthy. They got to get healthy quick.
Number 7, Florida, taking on Texas. This is Tremont Mark.
Yeah. I mean, you think about this Florida team, one of the hottest teams in the country, dominating everybody, whether it's been home, whether it's been on the road. This Texas team, Coach Miller, winners out of 5 of their last 6, doing a great job. Difficult game for Florida again on the road, still dominating up front. Points in the paint, 22-16 in favor of the game.
Mark's been a lead, 13 points in 15 minutes an hour.
Thanks to the Jeep first half stats, the game you are watching right now, 41-26. Look at the field goal percentage, just 9 of 28 for St. John's, 5 made threes for the Huskies. They are on top. Second half coming up next.
This has been the Jeep Halftime Report.
If you ask a quantum question, you begin to notice unexpected patterns in the universe. How light can be both a wave and a particle, energy and matter, all at once. Uconn researchers are asking how these big ideas can inspire powerful new technologies. Computers that solve the most complex problems to create personalized medicine and imaging, ultra-precise navigation, and unbreakable data security. Because every quantum question is where possibility begins.
Adulting? Overrated. Financial freedom? Now that's the move. Meet Alumnify, banking built for real life. No jargon. No hassle, just smart money moves made simple. Want to save more, spend smarter, build wealth? We've got your back. With 0 hidden fees and game-changing savings rates, this is banking that fits your life. Alumnify. Let's go.
All right, Link, your turn. I'm starting to think this squidding shuffleboard was a bad idea. That's why I brought Clorox. Time to unleash the bleach. Clean feels good. We'll call this game a tie.
I know what you're thinking. Here's Kristen Bell on a luxurious vacation with her pretend kids.
But I'm really here for all the points I get with my City Strata Elite card.
I live for a fancy dinner where I don't have any idea what I'm eating. But what I really love, 6 times the points. Just eat your points, sweetie.
I love you more than all the stars in the sky. Slightly more than all the points I'm earning. City Strata Elite. Rewards where it counts. That's the point.
Hey, Madam, do this in slow mo.
Mike?
I'm terrified of used car shopping and I cannot afford to overpay.
Buddy, I'm always here to help.
Show me, Carfax.
Carfax can show how damage impacts price, so you don't have to overpay. Always look for me and shop millions of great deals at Carfax.com.
VisionWorks makes things simple. We organize frames by shape and price.
Oh, I love these.
And if you change your mind,
I changed my mind.
there's our 100-day guarantee. VisionWorks. See the difference.
What a first half by Uconn up 15 on St. John's. Moments ago, Caroline Pineda spoke with the Red Storm head coach, Rick Pitino.
Coach, what are the biggest adjustments you want to see in the second half?
Well, we've got to block out because it led to a couple of threes, but you got to give them credit. They played a great half. We did not play a very good half. We were down on campus by 22 points and came back and won. We got to do the same tonight.
Thanks, Coach. John.
All right, so back here, St. John's is trailing. I made a mistake. The bucket at the end of the first half did not count. So it's still a 15-point game. 41-26. Uconn with the lead. They came out. St. John's has not been able to hit anything really from the field. They got only 9 field goals in the entire first half. They're shooting, 33% from the field. You're not going to really win anything in any league with those numbers. But with all that said, and Taris Reed is playing incredible. 14 points. They still have a chance. Only down 15. They got 10 points in the paint. Their season average is right around almost 40 points, 38. They got fast break points. They average around 15. They got 0 tonight, 0. So when St. John's likes to run, and they got only 2 points off of turnovers. So here we go for the second half. St. John's and Uconn, 15-point lead. for the Huskies as they will inbound the ball right at midcourt. Caravan inbounds it. Mullins takes it into the front court. Now it's Ball. Ball with it now to DeMary. DeMary has it at the top. Back to Caravan for three. No good off the back of the iron. Long rebound up and out of bounds, and it's going to St. John's. Last touch by Uconn. So there's the first break that they get there. 41-26, 15-point lead. The St. John's 13-game winning streak on the line here. First place in the Big East on the line here in the second half. Let's see what they can do. St. John's with the ball first time here in the second half. Sellers has it up top. Now it's Ejiofor, who only has 1 point in the first half. Ejiofor being guarded by Stewart. Puts it on the floor. Look out, he almost lost the handle. Gets it to Sellers. They got to hurry up. 10 to shoot. Sellers goes in, and he loses a handle, and it's now Uconn with the ball. So another turnover for St. John's right there as they got a chance to inch a little closer, and they couldn't. DeMary with the ball now in the front court to Caravan. Caravan has it, being guarded by Hopkins. Gets it inside to Reed, and he throws it down with two hands. A two-hand jam. Tarek Reed, 43-26. Uconn. And that gets the crowd going here again. 43-26, 17-point lead. Ejiofor up top of the key. Left side. Now it's Sannon has it. Sannon back to Ejiofor. At the free throw line. Drives into the paint. Throws up a wild one with the right hand. No good. Rebound out of bounds. And it is St. John's basketball, I believe is what the call was. They're going to keep it right here at St. John's basketball. Looked like it went off of Ejiofor. But man, Sellers got dunked on at the other end by Reed. St. John's inbounds it. Here's a three from Ejiofor. Got it. Nothing but net. Ejiofor finally hits a shot. 43-29. A three from the corner is 4 points now for Zuby Ejiofor. Ball has it now in the front court as Uconn sets this offense up. Left wing Reed has it. Hands it off to Mullins. Mullins for three. In and out, no good. Rebound to St. John's. Here comes Hopkins. Hopkins is going to run with it over the front court. Hopkins going all the way to the hoop, and he's rejected by Reed. Oh, he knocked it right out of the air. Here we go. Here comes Uconn on the other way. DeMary has it. DeMary pulls it up now, and a whistle. And we're going to get I believe it's a foul. I believe it's against St. John's. I don't know what the call is, but hey, Reed just went up there. Listen, Hopkins shouldn't have done it all himself there on the fast break. He should have probably went. Reed just came over with some help in the paint and just rejected it right out of the air. Uconn averages 5.3 blocks a game. That's second in the Big East and 12th in the nation. Uconn 25-3 overall, 15-2 in the Big East. Sannon looks like caught one in the face. He's got a bloody nose. Let's see if they're going to show what it is. I don't know what they called here. I don't know why the whistle was, but either way, Uconn's got the ball. Mullins drives right side, pulls up inside, and another dunk by Reed with two hands. All alone inside in front of the hoop. You can't leave him like that. I don't know what St. John's defense is doing. 45-29 Huskies. 16-point lead. Here goes Hopkins. Ejiofor gets it, drives off the glass, and good. Count it. Cuts it to 14. St. John's going to need some stops here, though, if they're going to get things going. Ejiofor with the bucket. He's now got 6. 5 of them here in the second half. Ball has it. Ball brings it. Waist-high dribble into the front court. Being guarded by Sannon. Here's Mullins. Mullins drives right past this guy to the hoop and throws up a layup. No good. Rebound. St. John's got it. It might have been blocked a little bit by Hopkins. But here comes St. John's into the front court. Sellers has it. Left wing pass now. Mitchell hands it to Ejiofor. Ejiofor gives it to Hopkins, who sets up for three. No good off the back of the iron. Rebound to Uconn. And DeMary will slow it down as he comes across the timeline. Missed opportunities, empty trips for St. John's. They need points. If they're going to get a stop, they need points on the other end of it. Here's Caravan. Caravan in the front court gives it to Reed. Reed hands it to DeMary. DeMary drives, left hand into the paint, fadeaway jumper. Good, got it. Nice shot. Pretty shot right there. And it's 47-31 Uconn. In the front court, St. John's has it. Mitchell to Ejiofor. Ejiofor above the three-point line. Here is Jackson. Jackson drives, pulls up, no good. Too strong on the shot. Rebound to Uconn. Reed with the rebound. DeMary has it, brings it across into the front court. St. John's really continuing to struggle with the shooting. They've hit one or two threes here in the second half, but that's about it. Here comes Caravan, left hand into the paint, pulls up, pivots now, turnaround, throws up a right-hand hook, no good. Rebound bounced around, still loose, out of bounds. And it's last touched by St. John's. Uconn basketball up 16, 15:37 to go in the second half. This is St. John's basketball on Locked Up Sports.
You're listening to Knicks basketball.
Baseball is right around the corner. Warm weather, blue skies, and the crack of the bat. Spring training is here. Nobody covers the Yankees. Nobody covers the Mets like Locked Up Sports. Daily expert takes all season long the best baseball coverage on the internet.
I'm Bob Walters, host of Locked Up Sports, the best New York sports talk on the internet. Join myself and Brett Grasso every week as we break down all the happenings from the best sports town in the world and have conversations with some of the biggest names in New York sports, including former Mets general manager Steve Phillips.
We need a star player, but let's go get Piazza, and I finally got approval to do it.
The man who revolutionized special teams in the NFL, Coach Mike Westhoff.
But, all the things that he got accused of, he did them all. I know. Trust me, I know. He did them all.
And New York sports talk legend Joe Beningo, just to name a few.
But they gave this guy $35 million a year, $350 million for 10 years. What the hell were they thinking with this guy?
Yeah. If you're a sports fan, this is the podcast for you. We have all the insights, laughs, and entertaining perspectives you crave. Whether you're looking for a funny take on your favorite team or informative and entertaining conversation, Locked Up Sports has you covered. Subscribe today for the most entertaining and informative sports podcast around. Available anywhere you get your podcasts.
Back to the final whistle.
Don't go anywhere.
Stick around for the Locked Up Sports postgame show. Breakdowns, highlights, and the stories you can't miss. And tomorrow, we're back live to wrap up everything from the big game.
This isn't national sports talk. This is New York. And when it comes to their sports talk, they won't settle for anything less than the very best. That's why more New Yorkers get their sports talk from Locked Up Sports than anywhere else. The best New York sports talk on the internet.
You're listening to
You're
locked into Locked Up Sports, the internet home of the Big East Tournament. We'll take you from Selection Sunday through every bracket buster all the way to the Final Four. Keep it locked into Locked Up Sports for the
47-31 back here at Gamble Pavilion in Uconn, on the campus of Uconn. And listen, St. John's is riding a 13-game win streak a 13-game win streak into this game tonight, trying to make it 14. St. John's and Uconn both hold that record. Uconn holds it twice in 95 and 96 and again in 23 and 24. And St. John's is trying to match it, most consecutive Big East wins in a single season. And they got some work to do if they're going to match it, because they are down 16 points. They've cut into it. Actually, they haven't cut into it. It was 16 at the half. It's still 16. The shooting has just really been atrocious for the whole game. 30-something% in the first half. Not much better here in the second half. They get no fast break points. They're not, forcing turnovers. The defense is lacking. There's people wide open. There's Uconn Huskies wide open under the hoop. They're leaving Reed wide open under the hoop. He had back-to-back two-handed dunks just a couple minutes ago. And that's pretty much your story here. I mean, it's been a blowout since the start. St. John's had a 2-0 lead. Since then, it's been all Huskies. Uconn inbounds the ball now into the backcourt. DeMary has it across the timeline, being guarded by Dylan Darling, who finally makes an appearance. He's the throw inside. It's off the hands of Mullins, but it was last touched by St. John's. They must have got a finger on it, out of bounds. Uconn basketball. I believe Prey got just a fingertip on it. Here's the inbound. Mullins catch and shoot for a three. Got it. Oh, pretty shot. Braylon Mullins. Beautiful from the corner, a three-pointer, and it's a 19-point lead. Uconn, yeah, they're pulling away here. Here is Hopkins with the ball now. Left wing in the front court. Drives to the hoop. Right lane. No, it's blocked again. Reed again was there for the double team. Blocked it. And Uconn into the front court. Here's another three from Mullins. He's feeling it. Oh, he missed it. Off the backboard. No rim. And into the front court comes St. John's. Jackson has it. Off the glass. No good. Rebound. Jackson gets it back. Here's Darling, and he misses a three. It goes out of bounds. Nope. Saved. No, he's out of bounds. Out of bounds on Uconn as ball dove into the camera crew there to save it. Was not able to. Probably better that he didn't because he saved it right to Prey. But man, what a pretty shot at the other end from Mullins as he came around off a screen into the corner, catch and shoot, and right in. And it's a 19-point lead. Looks like it's just not St. John's night. Here's Prey with the ball now off the rebound. Jackson drives, 16-footer, no good. It's blocked again. The turnover into the front court. Here's a lead and a throw down by Ross on the other end. It's 52-31. Uconn has pushed it up to 21 points. St. John's can do nothing here tonight against Uconn. Jackson has it, right wing. Jackson up top, now Darling. Darling sets up the offense, looks, crossover. Now hands it back to Jackson. Top to Prey. Good defense by Uconn here. Nobody with any room. Hopkins drives, spins into the lane, throws up a 10-footer, no good. Rebound around and picked up by Uconn. No second chance points either for St. John's. They can't get any offensive rebounds to get any kind of second chance points. Here we go. Here's Caravan. Drives with the right hand. Finger rolling in. Timeout, St. John's. 23-point lead for Uconn. And the St. John's win streak is in serious jeopardy. They are in big trouble. They're down 23 with 13:48 to go. And Uconn has just dominated this game the entire way. Turnovers left and right by St. John's. No offensive rebounds. No second chances on the offensive boards. They're not getting back for defense. And Uconn on top of it is shooting the ball real well. Put that all together and you have a 52-31 Uconn lead. You're listening to St. John's basketball on Locked Up Sports.
Baseball is right around the corner. Warm weather, blue skies, and the crack of the bat. Spring training is here. Nobody covers the Yankees. Nobody covers the Mets like Locked Up Sports. Daily expert takes all season long the best baseball coverage on the internet.
I'm Bob Walters, host of Locked Up Sports, the best New York sports talk on the internet. Join myself and Brett Grasso every week as we break down all the happenings from the best sports town in the world and have conversations with some of the biggest names in New York sports, including former Mets general manager Steve Phillips.
We need a star player, but let's go get Piazza, and I finally got approval to do it.
The man who revolutionized special teams in the NFL, Coach Mike Westhoff.
But, all the things that he got accused of, he did them all. I know. Trust me, I know. He did them all.
And New York sports talk legend Joe Beningo, just to name a few.
But they gave this guy $35 million a year, $350 million for 10 years. What the hell were they thinking with this guy?
Yeah. If you're a sports fan, this is the podcast for you. We have all the insights, laughs, and entertaining perspectives you crave. Whether you're looking for a funny take on your favorite team or informative and entertaining conversation, Locked Up Sports has you covered. Subscribe today for the most entertaining and informative sports podcast around. Available anywhere you get your podcasts.
Back to the final whistle.
Don't go anywhere.
Stick around for the Locked Up Sports postgame show. Breakdowns, highlights, and the stories you can't miss. And tomorrow, we're back live to wrap up everything from the big game.
This isn't national sports talk. This is New York. And when it comes to their sports talk, they won't settle for anything less than the very best. That's why more New Yorkers get their sports talk from Locked Up Sports than anywhere else. The best New York sports talk on the internet. You're listening.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining the stream here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, share the stream, like the stream, and make sure you check out our page, our channel here on YouTube, or if you're on one of the other social medias, our page and like us, give us a review. Enter the chat. Give us your feelings here tonight, St. John. Sometimes it's just not your night. And this is certainly looking like it's just not St. John's night. And then, it's only fitting. This was going to be a tough game. I thought it was going to be a tough game right off the bat for them to come in and win in Uconn, in Stores, with this crowd going nuts. Uconn knew they had to have it if they wanted a realistic chance at least splitting the Big East regular season title, which now, if Uconn holds on here, they both win out, it will be a split of the regular season title. And, St. John's had a chance. They had a chance here to take it, and so far, they've come up empty. 54-31, St. John's with the ball in the front court. Dylan Darling has it, top of the key, looking for a screen, doesn't get it, and he turns it over. DeMary with a steal, and he'll slow it down into the front court. Caravan looks, fakes the shot, now drives into the lane, pulls up the dribble, left wing, Ross has it, inside to Reed, back out to Ross. Mullins has it, right wing. Good defense right there by St. John's. Caravan has it, left-hand dribble between the legs, now up top to Reed. Reed looking, pivots, now puts it on the floor, spins into the lane and throws it up, a layup, and it's around and out, no good. Rebound is bounced around and then picked up by St. John's. Mitchell has it, and they'll bring it into the front court. Up top, Ejiofor, top of the key, left wing now, Hopkins. Bounce pass inside to Jackson. Here's the give, now Sellers, no good off the rebound. Gets his own rebound and has it snatched out of his hands, and it's on the floor now, and it's going to be a jump ball. Oh, he had it knocked right out of his hands after he got his own rebound. Caravan, I think, reached in, knocked it right out of his hand, and now it's a jump ball. St. John's does have the arrow, though, so I believe they have the arrow. Yes. So they will retain possession, but not a good play. Just on a long list of bad plays, that's just one of them here tonight. St. John's inbounding under the hoop. Sellers has it. They get it in. Sellers looking, drives now at the free throw line, pulls up for a shot, no good, back of the rim, rebound, and a foul called on the floor. I think it's against Ejiofor. St. John's, maybe? Nope. No, it's going to be against Uconn. They pulled Ejiofor down. So St. John's with a third chance now here on this possession. I mean, even when they're getting the extra chances, they're still not putting the ball in, still not coming away with points. This is now a third chance on this possession. Let's see if they can get anything. Hopkins has it left wing, top of the key. Down low to Ejiofor, back it in, Reed, and Caravan comes around and he reaches in and a foul called. Oh, he almost had him. He double teamed him, came up in front of him. He was sandwiching Ejiofor with Reed behind him. Went for the strip, got a piece of the hand, and a foul called. So here we go, a fourth chance now for St. John's in this possession. Ejiofor has it, Hopkins on the left wing, dribbles between his legs, guarded by Mullins, drives into the lane with the right hand, throws it up, it's partially blocked, rebound to Ejiofor, he lost it, and now a foul called again. And it's on Uconn again. So the St. John's will get a fifth chance now on this possession. That was a good drive there by Hopkins. He went up with it. It was a little wild on the shot, but they will take it. Inbound here is Mitchell. Pulls up, left wing shot, no good. Rebound, finally Uconn has it again. St. John's empty. 5 chances they had on that trip. Count them, 5 chances, empty, no points. Uconn with the ball. In the front court, it is Smith. Smith looking, trying to find a crack in the defense, bounces it down low, and a foul called. This will be against Mitchell of St. John's, and we have hit the under 12 timeout. St. John's trails by 23 points. 11:48 to go, 54-31 Uconn. You're listening to St. John's basketball on Locked Up Sports.
Kids, do you know what the point of luxury travel is?
Togetherness? Creating memories.
It's adorable, but no. It's about having a City Strata Elite card so you can relax in the Admirals Club until the last possible second.
City Strata Elite. Rewards where it counts. That's the point.
Hey, Meta, when does the storm hit?
Expect rain in an hour.
Hey, Matt, post that on Instagram.
The road to greater usually comes with a few obstacles.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Mike?
I'm terrified of used car shopping and I cannot afford to overpay.
Buddy, I'm always here to help.
Show me, Carfax.
Carfax can show how damage impacts price, so you don't have to overpay. Always look for me and shop millions of great deals at Carfax.com.
VisionWorks makes things simple. We organize frames by shape and price.
Oh, I love these.
And if you change your mind,
Yeah, I changed my mind.
there's our 100-day guarantee. VisionWorks. See the difference.
All right, we're back. St. John's were trailing big time here in the second half as they really couldn't get anything going here either. As it's 54-31 is your score at the moment. Listen, they've shot poorly. They played defense poorly. They've pretty much done everything poorly. They've had, the last time down the floor, they had 5 chances between fouls and turnover and then rebounds and out of bounds. And they had 5 chances. They couldn't get a single point. And that's pretty much been the story. So it looks like, barring a huge comeback here in the last 12 minutes, it looks like we're headed for possibly a split champion in the Big East. St. John's has one real test left, and that's Villanova next weekend at Madison Square Garden. Uconn inbounding the ball. Mullins has it. Mullins up top to DeMary. I'm sorry, now it's Smith. Smith has the ball. Smith being guarded by Sellers. Up top, Caravan looks, puts it on the floor, right hand into the paint, drives, and throws up a floater, and it's good. Oh, big game for Caravan as well, as he has looked good driving the ball. He's also hit a couple threes. As, again, everything going right for the Uconn Huskies. St. John's with the ball in the front court. 12 points for Caravan, 5 of 9 from the field. Mitchell drives in, misses the layup. It's loose on the floor. It's picked up by Sellers. He holds on. Timeout. No, they're going to call a jump ball. Held ball, and it's possession arrow to Uconn. So they will take over 25-point lead for the Uconn Huskies. Caravan, 12 points. Yeah, that was a pretty drive last time. He's hit a couple threes. He has played really well, the senior, redshirt senior. So he's in his 5th year, his last year. As Uconn with the ball, Smith brings it up into the front court. Here's Caravan now, back to Smith. Now it's Ball has it. Ball looking, finds his man. They Reed into the paint, looking, does a layup, around and in. Once again, Tarek Reed with a big presence in the paint. He has dominated this game. Couple big dunks. On the other end, Sannon for 3. No good. Back of the iron. Rebound up for grabs. Caravan's got it. Here comes Uconn with a 27-point lead into the front court. St. John's getting run out of the gym here tonight in this one. This was built as a showdown in stores, and listen, St. John's no-showed this game. 58-31, 10 minutes to go. Smith has it, looking left wing, Ball for 3. Got it, it's a 30-point lead. Timeout. St. John's, 61-31, 10:07 to go. A just complete blowout by Uconn of St. John's. This is by far the worst game St. John's has played this season, maybe in the last 2 years, the worst game they have played, and just a complete disaster as they came up here to Stores hoping to basically put their foot down and cement themselves as the Big East regular season champions for the second year in a row, and they have come up empty just in every aspect of this game. I mean, give UConn credit. Listen, it's not all St. John's playing bad. UConn is really playing well. They are hitting their shots. They've just been crisp from the first tip, from the opening tip. St. John's only 11 field goals in the entire game. They are 11 for 44, 25% from the field. 25%. UConn 52%. 25 of 48. And listen, St. John's can't hit it. Like I said before, it's like there's a cover on the top of St. John's basket. They have 2 field goals in the second half. They are 11 for 44 for the game. Points in the paint, 32 for UConn, 12 for St. John's. St. John's yet to have a fast break point. They got only 2 points over turnovers to UConn's 9. St. John's with the ball. Listen, they can't get anything going in this one. They have just been ice cold from the field. Sannon has it at the top of the key, puts it on the floor, drives into the paint, fadeaway wild shot, no good. Rebound off of the hands of Ross and out of bounds. It'll stay right here for St. John's ball. Another missed shot, though. I mean, sometimes you just have nights like this where nothing falls. Just, you know, it's like there's a cap on the rim. There's nothing you can do about it. And they all went cold tonight. Ejiofor with the ball, hands it off. Here's Mitchell driving into the lane, throws up a right-handed, no good. Layup, rebound to Reed. Another missed shot, two more. I had 2 more to the list on that one. Lower the percentage. Could lower it down now to about 23%. As bad a shooting night as you could ever have for the Red Storm. Tarek Reed has it, hands it off, ball between the legs, dribble, puts up a 3, no good. Back of the iron, rebound way up and out of bounds. Off of Reed, it'll be St. John's basketball. 9:14 to go, 30-point lead for the Uconn Huskies. I mean, it's just been ugly tonight. St. John's got the first bucket of the game. They led 2-0. That was their only lead of the game, and then it was just they just got been run over the rest of the way. Here is Jackson. Jackson gives it to Hopkins, spins, baseline and no good. Air ball, not even close, a 12-foot shot, and he came up way short. And the rebound to UConn, and they bring it across. Here's Smith. Smith being guarded by Mitchell. I'm sorry, Smith being guarded by Jackson. Caravan has it. Inside now, Reed. Reed back out to Smith. He makes a good catch, left wing. Here's Ross for 3. In and out, no good. St. John's has it. They're going to run up into the front court. Sannon will slow it down, give it to Ejiofor at the top of the key, above the 3-point line. Ejiofor, interior pass, not a good pass, knocked out of bounds by UConn. It'll be St. John's ball. But he was looking for Sellers in the paint underneath, and there were 2 UConn guys right there. Not a good pass. He got a little lucky because it was knocked out of bounds. I believe it's off UConn. Let me see. DeMary went down hard, hit his head on the court. I'm sorry, Smith went down hard, hit his head on the court. He's going to come out of the game. $31 points for St. John's tonight. That is it, as we are at 8:15 to go in the game. Here's Sellers, drives, left hand, now kicks it back out to Hopkins. Hopkins into the paint, he's looking to kick it out now as he pivoted. Prey has a 15-footer, air ball again, an air ball from the free throw line. And they're not even close on these ones. Not even close. St. John's throwing up air balls from the free throw line. UConn inbounding, and it's off the hands of DeMary. He throws it off of Jackson, out of bounds, so UConn retains possession. 8:03 to go. St. John's beat UConn just 19 days ago at Madison Square Garden, where they were the better team the whole game. They won by, I believe it was by 10 or 12 points. But UConn, who had lost just 2 games ago to Creighton right here in Storrs, Connecticut, a team that St. John's beat by 40 points the other night, beat UConn, and now St. John's comes in here, and now they're threatening to lose by 40 points. Here is DeMary, drives around, Prey, lays it in with the finger roll, no good. It went in and out. Reed with the rebound. Reed is stripped from behind, comes out. Here's a three for Uconn, no good off the back of the iron. Rebound tipped in, and DeMary's got it. Again, the offensive rebound for Uconn. St. John's can't even get their hand on a rebound. Unbelievable. Outside, Caravan has a Caravan for three. No good off the front of the iron. And it goes in on the rebound and a foul called. Ross gets it, puts it back in. Foul on Mitchell. St. John's hasn't scored a point in about 5 minutes. I mean, Uconn has not really either, but it's 61-31. 7:15 to go in the game. At this point, St. John's will just be happy to get this thing over with. I mean, just a nightmare here tonight. The updated stats are St. John's 11 for 44 from the field. 2 buckets in the second half. And we have played 13 minutes, and St. John's has 2 buckets in the second half. They had 9 in the first half. The first half was about as bad as it gets, and they had 9 buckets. The second half, 7 minutes to go, and they have 2. So this is going to be one you just kind of throw away if you're St. John's. If you're Uconn, you use it as a building block now. You go run the table the rest of the way, and you hope St. John's, trips up against Villanova next weekend. Yeah, Edward says in the chat, St. John's bet against themselves. Certainly, look, listen, if you bet against yourself, you don't play this bad because it's too obvious. You're going to get yourself arrested. If you bet against yourself and you play like this, you're going to get yourself arrested because this is just outrageous. They got 2 buckets in the second half, 31 points. I mean, well, from a top 15, a top 20 team, 11 buckets, 7 minutes to go. They're shooting 11 for 48, 22% from the field. They have no fast break points, only 2 points off of turnovers. The rebounds are, total rebounds are 33 for Uconn, 22 for St. John's. They're getting slaughtered on the defensive boards, 26-14. 8 blocks for Uconn. They're all over them tonight, all over them. In every aspect, every single aspect of the game. Once again, thanks for joining us, everybody. Don't forget to share the stream, like our channel here on YouTube. You'll like our show. If you're a sports fan, New York sports fan, you'll like our show. We just had, we got a show out there now. We just had St. John's New York Post reporter on the other day. And listen, he said that he picked them to win this game. I picked them to lose because, I just figured it's a tough ask to come in here and win this game. It really is. Zach Brazilla we had on the other day, and he said, he's going to pick them to win. He thinks Ejiofor is a terrible matchup for Uconn. And look, Reed has just dominated for Uconn inside the paint all night. Here's an alley-oop throw, and it's no good out of bounds. St. John's basketball. And when you're a top 15 team in the country and you got 31 points with 7 minutes to go and you're shooting 22%, I mean, listen, it's just one of those nights. I wouldn't really draw too much from this game. I think St. John's, obviously they're a better team. Listen, they were due for a loss, right? They won 13 in a row. They were due for a loss. They came in here and they just did it in, dramatic, they lost. They lost as bad as you could lose. It's going to be, hopefully they can make it somewhat respectable here. Hopkins drives into the paint, looks up, and another block by Reed. Hopkins the foul is called, I believe. I'm not sure, but Hopkins a couple times has gone into the paint. Reed just swatted it away. He goes in too low with the ball sometimes. He's doing that here tonight at least. There was a foul, so it'll be free throws for Hopkins. But yeah, we had Zach Brazilla on from the New York Post just the other day. You can find it right on our channel here, so check that out. First free throw, no good. of course it's not going to be good. They haven't hit anything else tonight. What makes you think they're going to hit the free throws? They haven't gotten to the free throw line very much either. 4 of 7. There hasn't been too many fouls. UConn's 4 of 5. Second one on its way is good. 61-32. They're really, listen, UConn hasn't scored either here in the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 minutes. That free throw right there is the first point we've had in a while now, since about the 9-minute mark. St. John's still pressing. They still got their guys in there. But they got a tall mountain to climb if they expect anything. You might want to just leave them in there. Hey, take the beating. You guys dug yourself this hole. You take the beating the rest of the way. UConn in the front court. Here's Mullins. Mullins has it. Gets it off. Caravan puts it on the floor. Drives into the lane. Again, uncontested. Lays it in. Another bucket for Caravan. Another bad defensive play by St. John's as he just went right. Nobody even tried to impede him. Hopkins in the front court for St. John's. Gets it to Prey, top of the key. Prey hands it off to Jackson. Jackson drives. Here comes the three-pointer from the right wing, and it's partially blocked from behind. Rebound to St. John's, and again, another block by Reed. Out of bounds. Will stay right here, but again, it's Hopkins, and again, it's Reed, and he's blocked him about 6 times tonight. I think the three-pointer was definitely got a hand on it, but it went right to Hopkins, and again, Reed down low just swatted it away. He has dominated Hopkins down there on the defensive end, under the basket. Reed comes out to a standing ovation from Gamble Pavilion. He has played himself one hell of a game. Tarek Reed, I would imagine that will be it for him. But he's going to finish off with 21 minutes, 18 points, 8 of 13 from the field. Listen, just 6 blocks, just a hell of a game. And Hopkins has not stood a chance against him down low, going to the rim all night. I'll tell you what was annoying about this. This game is on Peacock. I had Peacock with my subscription, but I hadn't activated it. It took me 20 minutes to activate it. This game was over by the time we came on here tonight, so I apologize about that. But either way, make sure you check out our show, guys. Everybody check out the show, Locked Up Sports, New York Sports Talk. We have TikToks, Facebook group, all kinds of social media, every social media, Instagram, everywhere we go. We do shows throughout the week. We'll do a post-game show here in a little bit once this disaster ends. So make sure you check that out, like the channel. And, we'll be on as much as I can to do games like this, but our main thing is the podcast. So check out our podcast anywhere you get your podcast. Locked Up Sports, New York Sports Talk. We're going to be getting into baseball soon. Got Bob Usler coming on in a little bit. He's the Nets play-by-play announcer on the radio, but he is also, we do mostly Mets with Bob, since he's a huge Mets fan. So it is a long baseball pass into the front court. It is Demary, goes up, he misses the free throw, followed by Mullins on the dunk, and the foul. And again, a bad play by UConn. You had Reed throw it into the front court. Demary blew the layup, and right there with the follow was Mullins with a 2-hand jam and a foul on top of it. I guess you could say Prey has played somewhat decent tonight, but there's really nothing from anybody to write home about. 32 points for St. John's in this one. 5:40 to go in the second half. Sellers has it, and a whistle and a foul on Mullins, I believe. He reached in off the ball. The most that St. John's has lost, the most that they have lost by since Pitino has taken over here is 16. So that record or that stat will go by the wayside tonight, as they will definitely lose by more than 16. Here's the inbound. Here's another air ball by St. John's. Darling has it out to Sellers. Sellers drives down into the paint, pulls up 13-footer, no good off the rim, foul called. Again on Mullins. This time Sellers will go to the line to shoot a pair. 5:33 to go. 65-32 Uconn with the lead. They are going to now be in a statistical tie with St. John's after this one for the Big East title, lead for the Big East title. St. John's net rank is 23. They were ranked 15th in the AP poll. 30th is their strength of schedule. They're 3-4 in quad one. Listen, it's not a great resume, and partly because the Big East is down this year. Listen, there's only 3 teams in the Big East that are any good: St. John's, Villanova, Uconn, and they've lost to Uconn now. They also lost to Providence. Don't forget that at home, and then they lost a lot of their non-conference schedule. They didn't play well to start the season, so they're looking at a 5 or 6 seed here, and it's a shame. Maybe they run the table the rest of the way. They get the Big East share of the title. Plus, as a foul is called at the other end now, and DeMario will go to the line for Uconn. But St. John's they had a rough out-of-conference season where they didn't play very well. That was the rough start that they got off to. They lost at home to Providence. They have split with Uconn. In between that, they have a 13-game win streak. It's a very odd resume that St. John's has. They're going to have a ton of wins. So they're going to have 25 wins. They could very well run the table and win the Big East tournament. The rest of the nation, though, there's a lot of good teams out there. That's the problem. This St. John's team, I think, is better than last year's St. John's team. Last year's St. John's team was a 2 seed. This team's going to be a 5 or a 6. The 5 on the floor for Uconn. Let me get it for you. Hold on right now. They still got most of their guys out there. They took Reed out a couple minutes ago. $65-34. Game's coming on next on Peacock. Hold on one second. I'll get you that answer for you. It's Caravan. Reed is back out. It's Ball. It's DeMary. And it's Mullins. Those are your 5 on the floor for Uconn. Which I'm surprised they got these guys on the floor. I mean, you got a 31-point lead, 5 minutes left. I don't know why you're risking it if you're Hurley. Well, listen, we got Edwards says the Red Storm better bring up against our Huskies. Listen, we got nothing to bring tonight, right? We beat them at the Garden. They beat us at home. It's held serve as far as I'm concerned. This thing will be decided in the Big East tournament, probably in the final. Sellers with the ball. Prey has it in the front court. Foul on Reed as he reaches in on Prey. We've hit under 5 minutes as it's kind of slowed to a crawl here, the pace. 33-point Uconn lead. They're going to improve to 26-3 overall, 16-2 in the conference. St. John's will be 15-2, 22-6 overall. So technically, Uconn's going to have that, half game lead, one in the win column. But they will be tied, and at the end, both these teams are expected to win out. But hey, listen, you never know, right? St. John's Uconn lost to Creighton the other night. Caravan under the hoop, inbounding as the 2 free throws were hit. 67-36, 31-point lead for the Huskies. Caravan now gets it. St. John's still playing defense here. Dylan Darling on the defense against DeMary. He holds it just over half court. He gets a screen. Now drives right side into the paint, and he goes to throw it down, and he's fouled by Prey. Again, St. John's. Again, they let him get a free run right to the rim. He tried a windmill dunk. The point guard tried the windmill dunk on Prey, who a pretty hard foul. But man, again, St. John's just terrible. Nobody's stepping into the lane. These guys are running free to the hoop. DeMary went right around Dylan Darling right into the paint. Tried to throw it down with the right hand. Prey with the hard foul. Nothing dirty. It was a hard foul. Nothing dirty though. I think they're looking at it to see if it was going to be a flagrant one or whatever. It's not. I don't think it actually. I don't think it is. I don't think it should be. I don't think there was anything. It was a hard foul, but it was a good hard foul. They're looking at it though. Yeah, let's see. Hey, listen, this is not a hard foul. This is no ill intent on Prey's behalf on this one. Demarius saw a free reign to the hoop. I guess he caught him in the face a little bit with the forearm. Now that I look at the replay, but I don't think that's. Nah, I don't think they're gonna get. Let's say though, you never know. It might meet the criteria for a flagrant one. Doesn't seem like anybody got upset or anything over it, and it is. It's gonna be a flagrant one as he's at the line by himself shooting free throws. 4:39 to go. Free throw, good. 68-36, Uconn with the lead. So St. John's came up here. Listen, Uconn played tough in that game at the Garden. They didn't play great. They got beat, but they played all right. St. John's came up here and no-showed as the second free throw by Demarius. No good. Makes one of two. Uconn will get the ball back. It looks like Ejiofor has exited the game. Got some kind of mouth issue maybe. Got hit in the face. Is the inbound for St. John's. I'm sorry, for Uconn. Smith with the ball. Smith right wing to Ball. Underneath now Reed. Reed back it in. Kicks it out to Mullins. Left wing now. Caravan for three. In and out. No good. Rebound to Dylan Darling. And St. John's will bring it up the court. Into the front court. Darling has it. Darling behind the back dribble. Into the paint. Pulls up. 13-footer. No good off the iron. Rebound to Uconn. And again, the St. John's can't hit a bucket. Here's Caravan. Gets to the top. Now to Smith. Smith thought about a long three. Thought better of it. Gives it to Mullins. Now inbound. Inside pass to Reed. He handles it. Faces up on Prey. Into the paint. Here comes Sellers to help out. He kicks it out. Left wing. Right wing now. Stewart for three. No good. Stewart from the corner for Uconn just missed the three. And St. John's has it. Here's a three for Darling. No good. Rebound to Reed. Yeah, you're right. Reed can be scary bad. You're right. But he's had a hell of a game tonight. I'll tell you what. He's been all over the defense. He's been protecting the rim all over the night. Blocking them. He's played good. He's scored points. Uconn with the ball in the front court. Mullins drives into the paint. Mullins into the corner. Here's a three from Ball. No good. And he stepped out. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds before he hit it in the corner. Timeout on the floor. 68-36. 3:13 to go in this one. I have a feeling this is going to be finished off at the Big East tournament in the finals. Unless Villanova can pull off an upset against one of these two teams. However it's seeded, you're looking at a St. John's Uconn final in the Big East tournament, and I think that'll be a really good game. Uconn might be looking to get a 1 seed, although I don't know. I mean, you think Uconn can get a 1 seed? They look good. They look like a 1 seed. They look every bit of 1 seed tonight. And with only 3 losses, maybe. You got Duke's probably going to get Duke's going to get a 1 seed. Michigan's going to get a 1 seed. And then the other two are kind of hanging out there, waiting for somebody to take them. So let's see. What do you say about should dominate the paint offensively and has strong press? Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's a good player, Reed. But you're right. Sometimes he doesn't play. He doesn't play. You feel like he left a little bit out there sometimes. Not tonight though. Tonight he's been all over. He's got 20 points, 9 for 14 from the field. He's only got 2 less field goals than St. John's does as a team. He's got 11 rebounds, He's got a double-double. He's got 6 blocks. I mean, listen, he's been all over the place. He's been by far, I think, the best player on the court tonight has been Tariq Reed. Is he the point leader? Let's see. He's the leader. He leads the... Yeah, well, yeah, he definitely is. He leads UConn with 20 points. St. John's, I mean, you got Sannon, who's got 10. Ejiofor with only 6 points. He got 1 in the first half. He got 5 quick ones in the second half. And he's just been, nothing since. Hopkins with 8. Prey with 5. Sellers with 4. And Sannon has 10, lead St. John's. But just a complete disaster here. And what was supposed to be a real good game, a real big game in the Big East. And St. John's came up and laid an egg, is what happened. Listen. When you're shooting in the 20s percentage, you're not going to do anything. 25%, 11. No, that hasn't even updated yet. Hold on, let me let this thing update. I mean, it's just it was at 22% for a while. It was at 20. And when teams score less than 70 points, UConn is 20-0. So here they still have the ball, still looking to build on this lead. 32-point lead. Smith has it, right wing. Smith drives in the paint. Foul called on Reed. Away from the ball as he was hand checking with Dylan Darling. And Reed got the foul call. He's going to come out now to another standing ovation. The largest win in school history for UConn over St. John's. 29 points in 1998. Not a bad St. John's team that year. Not a bad St. John's team this year. You just came in and they couldn't get it done. Here's St. John's, a 3 from Leotopoulos. No good. Tacking a little miss onto the ledger. 2:40 to go. Into the front court comes UConn. Smith has it, and he's going to call a timeout as Hurley's going to empty the bench now. And he's going to pull everyone out. 32-point lead. That'll do it. Some big standing ovations. What happened here? Caravan comes out to a huge standing ovation as he had a big night. 11 points for him. Mullins comes out to a big standing ovation as he empties his bench. Forgive me if I'm not going to know all of these guys that come in now. We'll see who they brought in here. Smith has it. Smith's still in the game. Smith feeds number 4, and it's up and in. UConn, number 4 is, I'm not sure who that is. This UConn fan here in the chat's going to have to help me out with some of these guys. But he lays it in. Number 4 lays it in. And a foul to the line. 68-36. Free throw. Good. As another, it looks like Fieri for UConn, number 7, checks in. Ball goes out. Big ovation for him. This is a big win for UConn. Free throw, rims back of the iron, front of the iron, drops in. 70-36, a 34-point deficit for St. John's. 2:10 to go as we just kind of run the clock out here. Here, driving his Sellers off the glass. No good. Rebound. Prey grabs a good rebound by Prey. Out top to Dylan Darling for 3. No good. Rebound, UConn. And again, I mean, this is just a disaster. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can get the roster up here. Get some of these guys. Number 4 has it. UConn, two-hand dunk. He's got 4 points now in the first 30 seconds in this game. It is a 36-point lead. Timeout on the floor, I believe it was timeout called by St. John's. And UConn continues to empty the bench here. So you're going to get all these guys in that, the students know. Guys at the end of the bench, nobody else seems to know, though. See if I can bring up the roster. So Dylan Darling with a free throw now. Hits it. I guess it was a foul on St. John's. My fault with that. It was not a timeout. More substitutions for Uconn. Karoma was the number 4 who had the dunk and had the three-point play. Ball brought up now by Smith, who's entered back into the game. Panovich is also in for Uconn at number 77. He's a freshman. I'm sorry, he's a junior out of Serbia. Here's a 3. No good. Rebound. That was... The Uconn bench is up. They're loving this. These are all the guys, that they love on the team. End of the bench. Prey is fouled inside by Karoma of Uconn. And he'll go to the line with 54, under a minute to go. 54 and 2/10 left. 38 points for St. John's. Listen, it's just one of those nights that they weren't going to beat anybody. They couldn't beat a high school team tonight. Prey with the free throw, got it. 39, so it looks like they'll at least get to 40. But this is by far the worst game St. John's has played since Rick Pitino became their coach a couple years ago. Biggest margin of victory prior to tonight, 16. Tonight, they're down 32 with 45 seconds left. St. John's 12 points in the paint to Uconn's 42. Just a complete dismantling of the Red Storm. As Uconn's going to hold it, they're going to dribble it. They're going to probably run out the shot clock. 4 seconds on the shot clock. He's going to run it out and let it just go here. And there's the shot clock. So, hey, listen. 23 seconds left. 32-point lead for Uconn. They will be tied now, statistically tied, just percentage points ahead of them because of the extra win. Dylan Darling now dribbles it, gets it over front court. He's just going to dribble it out. 10 seconds to go. The coaches meet at midcourt. They say their pleasantries. 6 seconds, 5 seconds to go. This thing is over. The Uconn Huskies improved to 26-3. 16-2 in the conference, the largest win over St. John's in school history. St. John's 13-game win streak comes to an end, one shy of the record held by themselves and Uconn of 14. And listen, St. John's got to go back and regroup. They are now tied, win out, and you will probably finish with a statistical split of the Big East title. But a disappointing night in Storrs, Connecticut for the St. John's Red Storm, as they lose in blowout fashion, 72-40. Thank you to everybody who listened to the stream. Thank you to everybody who watched here tonight. Don't forget to check us out. Check us out if you're here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Don't forget to check us out on all your social media. Just type in Locked Up Sports. You'll find us. The podcast, anywhere you get your podcast. And we are all over YouTube. We have live streams on Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, everywhere you go. So, Uconn 16-2, 26-3 overall. First place in the conference. St. John's right behind them, 15-2, 22-6 overall. One you want to forget if you're a Johnny's fan. But hey, plenty of basketball left in this season, and we'll have it for you right here on Locked Up Sports. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Bob Walters. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.